Jerry Mallory here for SB Nation and PrideDetroit.com. It's time to talk about three pivotal road games for the Detroit Lions heading into this 2012 season. Now, to be honest, I could have easily picked the three road games from our division as the ones to highlight because after all, division games are of the most importance and divisional road games are so hard to come by. But instead, what I decided to do was pick one game within the division as a road game and two road games outside of the rough and tough NFC North. We'll start off. The first one we'll highlight is the first road game of the year. It's week 2. At this point, the Lions will be 1-0. They'll be headed to San Francisco to face one of the more surprising and dominant teams of last year, the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this game is interesting on a lot of levels. First off, you have one of the most explosive, exciting, young offenses in the league going up against arguably the most dominant and fearsome defense in the NFL around these days. So let's look at the superstars. You got Matt Stafford, Calvin Johnson, when healthy, job at best, Brandon Pettigrew. Well, they'll be going up against defensive stars such as Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis, Alden Smith, and Justin Smith. So this is a classic case of high-powered offense versus dominant defense. This is also a revenge game. Let's take you back to last year. The Lions were sitting high and mighty. They were undefeated. The San Francisco 49ers not only broke our winning streak, which carried on to 2010, to the preseason, and to 2011, they did it on our home field. Well, it's time for the Lions to hopefully extract some revenge and ruin an early start for the San Francisco 49ers by going on the road and defeating them. This is also a big matchup because the Lions struggled against elite teams, especially nationally broadcasted games. Now, they started off with that win against the Chicago Bears Monday Night Football, but after that, you had the Thanksgiving game against the Green Bay Packers. That was a loss. And you had two national televised games on the road against the New Orleans Saints. Both of those were losses. So the Lions, although they went 10-6, they struggled against some of the better teams, especially on the road, and especially when the lights were as bright as they could be, national television. This game has all of those features. So can they surpass what they did last year, get a big win on the road when the lights are bright? And of course, one of the other big features is the handshake. How's it going to go down? You've got the battle of the gyms, Jim Schwartz versus Jim Harbaugh. I'm expecting them to act like it's not a big deal. I'm sure there won't be any fireworks, but we know the media will be talking about it, and this will be one of the most recorded and watched post-game handshakes in NFL history. The next game we'll look at is week 6. At this point, as per my prediction, the Lions will be 3-1. They'll be headed to Philadelphia facing the Eagles, one of the hottest teams ending last year. This is a big matchup for so many reasons. Now, the Lions have a lot of offensive playmakers. This team has just as many young, offensively talented players that the Lions defense will have their hands full with. You've got Michael Vick, you've got Shady LaShawn McCoy, you've got Jeremy Maclin, and you've got Deshaun Jackson. It's a lot for one team to try to handle. This is huge also because of wild card position. We're going to try to win the division, as are the Eagles. But if things don't go right, maybe the Giants win the division, the Packers win the division, these two teams will be vying for a wild card spot. You get this win, you automatically own the tiebreaker over the Eagles in case the teams have the same record at the end of the year. So that's very big. This is also a game after the bye week. So you've got 2 weeks to prepare, 2 weeks to get healthy, 2 weeks to game plan. You don't want to lose after a bye week because all that preparation and tape and just getting ready to play them kind of was all for nothing. So you got to find a way to get a victory for this one. And last but not least, it's a marquee matchup. One of the league's best cornerbacks in one corner is Nnamdi Asomugha going up against one of, if not the best receiver in the NFL, Calvin Megatron Johnson. It's going to be a 12-round knockout, a drag-out bout. Nnamdi Asomugha versus Calvin Johnson. They may not play each other the whole game, but they will see each other a time or two on the field. Who will get the victory? The next game we'll highlight is the very next week. It's week 7. At this point, the Lions, as per my predictions, should be 4-1. They'll be going to Soldier Field to face the divisional foes in the Chicago Bears. Now, let's keep in mind the Bears were very strong before the injury bug bit them. Some may even say they would have been the representative of a wild card spot in the NFC North. We have no way of knowing, but they got hit with big injuries to Jay Cutler and Matt Forte, and then they started to falter. Well, a healthy Chicago team on the road, well, they beat us in that scenario last year. Can they do it this year? Another big reason that this game is of note is because they have new weapons. Michael Bush is going to allow Matt Forte to carry the ball less wear and tear, fresher legs, and also they have Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall, Jay Cutler, they did big things in Denver. They had a lot of chemistry, and the Bears have been riddled with diminutive receivers. The big receivers that they've had, a la Roy Williams, have not been effective. Brandon Marshall's a big target. He's fast. He's talented. He's going to give a dimension to this team that they have not had in quite some time. This is also big because the Lions have struggled on the road against their divisional foes. Whether it be Green Bay or Chicago, and even Minnesota, although they won last year, they have struggled to win road games, and it's so big when you can get a road game, not just any road game, but against your division. It's huge, and this is an opportunity for the Lions to do just that. And also, this game has tiebreaker implications also. Not just for a wild card, which both of these teams may be fighting for, but even the NFC North, that's right, the division. We're just not going to pencil in the Green Bay Packers as your division champions. So many things can happen from this point to the end of the season. The Bears are in play, the Lions are in play, and so if the Lions win this game, they have a tiebreaker scenario that could take place because the last game of the year is once again against the Bears, but now they're at home, so their chances of being better than them, either for the division or the wild card, increases greatly with a win in Week 7 on the road. So leave your comments. What do you think? There's a little allocated spot down there. Do you agree with my road games? Any points you like to add? Any other road games you want to see and why? Leave your comments and thoughts in the section below. We want to thank each and every one of you for watching. And as always, this has been Jerry Mallory for SB Nation and PrideDetroit.com.